Okay, now we're going to go over this problem on Minitab. Minitab is similar to StatCrunch with respect to the fact I will be entering in the data, original data, into the first column and then have the software manipulate the data, and then I'm going to run basic statistics. Okay, so my first column is going to be the original set of data, and I can change that to have a title. Okay, so I'm going to call that salaries, and then I'll click on the first cell and then I'll enter in all of those values, hitting enter after each one, being careful not to make a typo because that will affect your statistics. Okay, so what I'm going to have the calculator, or I'm sorry, Minitab do for me is take the values in the first column and subtract 1 from them and put it into the second column, because we're asked, oh I'm sorry, add 1. That's the mistake I made in the previous video. We're giving each employee a $1,000 raise and the salaries are in thousands, so I need to add 1 to each value in the first column. So I can retitle that as salaries, salaries plus 1. Okay, and then I'm going to go up to Calc, and my first choice is Calculator, and I'm going to store the result in C2, and I want my expression to be C1 or salaries, so I double click on C1, and then you'll notice down here you'll have a calculator, and I want to go plus 1 and click on OK, and it'll take all the values in the first column and add 1 and store them in the second column. Now the third part of the question asks us to subtract 2 from each value in the original data set. So I'm going to title that salaries minus 2. Okay, and then I'm going to go back up to Calc, click on Calculator, and I want to store the result in that third column that I've just created, and my expression is going to be the first column, okay, salaries, and then I'm going to subtract 2. You could also, instead of double clicking, you could type in C1 minus 2 and it should calculate it just fine. Okay, so I'll click on OK, and you notice that it has taken all of the original values in the data set, which was in C1, and subtracted 2. Okay, so now I'm going to run basic statistics on all 3 columns at once. The calculator does not do all of these at once. You have to do a single column at a time. So using StatCrunch or Minitab has that advantage. Okay, so I click on my Stat menu, and my first choice is Basic Statistics, and I'm going to display descriptive statistics. And now I want to select all 3, so I'm going to double click on all 3. And we have options to tell Minitab what statistics we want displayed. I'm going to leave it at the default for now. Okay, and then I'm going to click on OK. And you'll notice up in your sessions window the display of the descriptive statistics. That first column for the mean has the mean for all 3 columns, and you'll see the standard error of the mean does not change for all 3. We don't use that in this chapter, but when we do confidence intervals, that is our standard error of the mean. And here's the standard deviation for all 3, and just like in the calculator, you'll get the minimum value, the first quartile, the second quartile, which is the median, the third quartile, and the maximum value. Now what's nice about Minitab is you can print this. Note that my window up here, my session window, is highlighted, so that's the screen that will print. If I click on my worksheet, you'll notice that that toolbar for the worksheet is highlighted, and if I click on print, it will print my worksheet.